Hi, I'm Chris Kepler, and welcome to Does This Happen to You? I'm an actor, voice actor, audiobook narrator, and writer. I love reading, pondering, and sharing humorous stories about the freakish things that happen in everyday life. That's why this podcast features funny stories from fantastic writers about our daily aberrations, a micro audiobook about life and befuddlement just for you. Our story this week is by Lily Hirsch and Channing Whitaker, who you'll find on Medium.com. And here is, what type of drunk tired is your kid? Angry, weepy, fun? The angry drunk. When he's skipped his nap for the third day in a row, he'll accuse you of eating the last cookie before picking a fight with his sister. He definitely ate that last cookie himself, but is trying to stir up shit. When you point out the crumbs on his shirt, he'll transform into a sort of Shakespearean actor, belligerently declaring his great indignation that you would cast such aspirations when he's clearly been framed by his asshole sister. Then he'll challenge you to a duel, slam a door, and fall asleep on the bathroom floor. The weepy drunk. It's 2 hours past bedtime because he saw 2 minutes of a scary movie. Any second, he'll start crying about littering, endangered animals, or a fish he had for a few days 3 years ago. He'll say how much he loved that fish, though he never fed it, so it died. And he'll cry even harder when you can't remember the fish's name, which was something ridiculous like SpongeBob Squarefish or Fish Bob Square Fins. He'll eventually fall asleep, his pillow wet with tears, after sadly whispering, "Good night, sweet Fish Bob." In the morning, he'll have no memory of the night before and will cheerily suggest getting sushi for dinner. The fun drunk. After waking up at 4 a.m. for no clear reason, she'll barely make it through the day. During her bedtime story, she'll suddenly start laughing about the word diary because it kind of sounds like diarrhea. You'll try to keep reading, calm her down, and get her tucked into bed, but she'll say stuff like, "Where's my pen? I really want to write in my diarrhea," or, "I really don't want my brother to read my diarrhea, so can we get a lock for my diarrhea?" She'll be laughing so hard that she won't hear your answer, but if you laugh, even a chuckle, she'll be up for another hour giggling about someone at school reading her diarrhea. The next day, after you pull out your childhood diary and say, "I'm so glad I saved my old diarrhea," she'll look at you like you've gone insane. The I love you drunk. He'll drag the bedtime routine out until it's almost your bedtime. And just as you're about to shut his door and say a final good night, he'll say a slurred, "I love you." Then he'll ask for one more hug, but that hug will go on for far too long. You'll explain that this isn't the time to cuddle, but he'll ignore you and continue to say how much he loves you. When he falls asleep with his arms still around you, you'll sneak out of his embrace and turn off the light. You'll leave the room wondering if he was fall down exhausted or if what he said was true. You really are the greatest, most beautiful, and wonderful parent in the history of the world and also the Spider-Verse. The answer will be clear in the morning when he throws a fit because you threw out his collection of candy wrappers. The antisocial drunk. Each night this week, she's been secretly getting up around 1 a.m. to draw. So, during a play date, she'll decide it makes sense to stand in a corner with her arms crossed, instead of acknowledging the existence of her friend. You'll remind her to be a good host, so she'll slingshot an apple at her bestie and say, "Here's a snack," before storming into her room and hiding in the closet. After spending the afternoon playing Candyland with your kid's friend and then taking her home, you'll find your child just waking up in a laundry hamper. She'll immediately be super pissed that her friend is gone because she really wanted to play Candyland. The reckless drunk. After a late night out at a school concert, your son is supposed to be brushing his teeth. Instead, you'll hear him asking his sister if she dares him to drink shampoo. You'll try to stop him, but he'll have already guzzled down half a container before running down the hallway carrying 5 pairs of scissors. When he leaps off the couch, he'll vomit midair and then fall asleep by a broken lamp while you're still surveying the damage and wondering where it all went wrong. The next day, he might show some remorse, but come sundown, after a long drive from Grandma's, he'll ask his sister if she dares him to write in his diarrhea, only he actually means diarrhea. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed this story, let me know and share it with your friends. Follow me at Chris Narrates on Twitter or Chris K. Kepler on Facebook, or check out my website, chriskepler.com.